Guys and girls, how to spot the billionaire floor plan. Floor plans, they're not all the same. We're going to teach you some stuff about floor plans today. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Ooh, this is a hot topic. I like this one. Basic, in your face.
Really basic, relevant for every buyer going through.
Yes.
And I get this question a lot actually. Like, what is the average size? 1, 2, 3 bedroom apartment, and I guess everyone's wish list in some ways looks the same. Like out of
Yep.
10 things, I'd say most people want 7 common traits, which is like an efficiency to a floor plan. It's a big enough space, big enough second bedroom, all of that stuff. So we're going to break it down this morning.
And you can bring efficiency to your floor plan in many different ways, which we're going to talk about. So, you can actually make money out of your floor plan if you're super smart. What I love is, I don't know if you've seen I think it's Japan, the super small micro apartments and the way they they maximize space. It's just incredible.
Yeah, yeah. If you can have like a dual purpose for anything in like the apartment, like they do, I think you're on a winner. It's
Yeah.
really, if you need inspiration, as you said, go on YouTube, have a look. They probably do it the best.
Japan micro apartments.
Yep, that's where we're drawing
There's the
our inspiration for
there's
this
the key
morning.
word. So Billy, let's start from small and let's go to big. Um, how small's the smallest apartment you'll see? Meter squared.
Generally, Northern Beaches, if it's a 1 bedroom, meaning it's got a separated bedroom space, not a studio, 40 square meters is the smallest I've seen. Studios, not so common in our area, but I've got a first home buyer friend who's looking on the eastern side of Sydney, Potts Point, King's Cross, Bondi Junction. He's looking at anything from 25 to 30, 35 square meters
Really?
studio. Yeah, so they are out there.
They're out there. So the delineation between a studio and a one bedroom, for people that don't know, is pretty much that privacy in that second bedroom. Um, and I've even seen people, and normally a window in that second bedroom as well, because I've even seen people put a separation wall down, bang it down the middle of a studio and say, oh, this is a one bedder now, but you sort of need that that window for that delineation, between a one bedder and a studio. And then another thing, Billy, is the ensuite in a one bedder compared to a proper bathroom. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so if you have a look at most entry level price points, the bathroom comes off the bedroom as an ensuite, whereas the ideal floor plan is actually having it separated as its own entrance. So your guest, when you're entertaining, can come through, use the bathroom without going through the bedroom. Really good point of difference. If you can find that in a 1 bedroom apartment or a studio, even, that's really, really valuable.
And I've seen
Yeah.
people make money because they've turned the ensuite bathroom into a separate bathroom. So I've seen people actually move a door and actually make the door open into the living room instead of into the bedroom, because it can do that. Obviously, you go through strata, but that's a good way to make money out of a floor plan. Just by moving a door around as well. Now, there's funding issues on these sizes that you're talking about.
There can be. Most lenders like to try and find something around 50 square meters. Sometimes that can be inclusive of parking as well. But under 40 square meters, the banks put it into a different category of risk, and therefore the lending changes a little bit. Doesn't mean it's impossible, just means you need a good broker. And sometimes a way to show that your deposit, can cover that, or income or guarantor or something like that, particularly for first home buyers.
So something we should also talk about is when we're referring to these sizes, we're referring to internal space because you've also got balcony on top of that, and you've also got garage on top of that, and you've also got storage on top of that. So just make sure when you're speaking with your agents, you're asking them because we're a bit cheeky sometimes when we're referring to floor plans. We bulk them up and we put in the balcony size and we put in the garage size or car space size into the total space. But you really want to
Yeah.
know internal space.
The reason for that is a strata plan will sometimes only give you the total number rather than breaking it down to all of those different balcony, storage, parking, internal. So we just package it up as one number. That's on the strata plan. If you ever need help, you can refer back to the contract of sale, and in there's a strata plan. It will tell you all of those numbers for every apartment in the building. Two
What's a
bedroom.
what's a, what's a one bed that you go, wow, that's massive.
Over 50 square meters internal is good. Balcony, good. And parking, good. Parking is 15. So that brings you to about 70 square meters total, which is great.
You're a hero.
Yeah, that's hero. For two bedrooms, anywhere between 70 to 90 square meters is the average range. For
Yeah.
DY, Northern Beaches, typical two bedroom apartment is about 80 square meters total.
And now you've also got floor plans that want to be another bedroom on top. I sometimes call them a hybrid, where sometimes, you have a one bedder that's got this room to the side that has a window, that has a door, and it's like, that's pretty much a two-bedroom unit. So how do you price something like that? And is that good?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's the difference.
Or should you just get the proper two-bedder?
Well, sometimes people's budget doesn't quite allow them to get the two bedroom they want. They're wanting something premium, comfortable, so they go for the one bedroom that can then do the home office setup or the nursery setup. So, as you said in the beginning, a bedroom often requires a window. That's the only difference. So if you've got the size for it, you basically box in a 3x3 room with no window. You can call it a guest room, a nursery, a home office, a media room, anything you want other than a bedroom, but it serves the same practicality. So a lot of clients often find that apartment sits in the gap between the one bedroom and the two bedroom price point, which is often a couple $100,000 in price. So it definitely serves a purpose.
What's the smallest size two-bedroom you've seen? Internal meter squared.
Like 2 by 2.5. The ideal bedroom has got a 3 by 3. So anything other than like a 3 by something is cutting it down a little bit, and 2 by 2 or 2 by 2.5 is pretty small, but again, works for a nursery, works really well for a home office. And I'm finding a lot of clients actually use that second bedroom for that reason. It's not to sleep in.
And total size two-bedder, what's the smallest you see?
70 odd square meters total. That puts you at just over 50 something internal. But there isn't a three bedders anywhere from 90 to 120 square meters. Once you're over 120, you're generally quite an impressive space.
You're a hero.
Yeah, you're a hero. You've broken through the glass ceiling. But here's some things you can do to maximize the efficiency, because you can have big floor plans and they just don't make sense. They feel like a bit of a rabbit warren. And that's where I don't think size actually matters as much. So open plan layouts, combining kitchen, living, dining, that's really ideal for a lot of people. Having, like your kitchen cornered off, you lose that sort of entertaining feel to the whole apartment. Corridors and hallways, when you come through your front door, if you're then going through a long corridor to get into the living room and then the bedrooms go the other way, again, you're going to chew up internal square meterage with space that you can't actually use. It's nice to have. It gives you a bit of a house-like feel, but it's still an inefficiency in some ways. Like smart storage, really, really clever. Find ways you can get more storage into your apartment. With lock-up garages, they often do it with like a mezzanine if you've got the clearance for it. Internally, it's finding places to put linen closets and things like that. And then integrating sort of utilities. Some people find ways to free up their like internal laundry, so they put it under the kitchen bench, things like that, frees up that entire space. Then it becomes a pantry if it's off the kitchen. So there's ways you can improve room layouts to make it better. And then your back mark.
Yep.
I was going to mention the aspect and the outlook will certainly help make an apartment feel big or small.
Yeah, too right. I think if you've got really good natural light and really good windows, you can probably forgive a little meter squared space inside. Whereas if you're a dark apartment, you may need size a little bit more than a light apartment. Believe it or not, that good old fashioned natural light's always gonna optimize your floor plan.
Yeah. And one last thing that people take for granted when they've got it is high ceilings. Makes a massive difference. You tend to find high ceilings in the older style buildings, sometimes again on the top floor
Yeah,
as well, compared to the lower and the middle. But high ceilings are
yeah.
a really real luxury. If you've got them, you'll love it.
Now we've focused on apartments. Just before we go, can we just touch on houses?
Yep.
What's a big house size
Um,
internal?
on on square meterage, about 200 square meters is the average home size. 300, 400 on one single level is pretty monster. It's it's pretty impressive.
There you go.
There you go.
So there you go on your metrics, on your room sizes, on your natural light, on your ceiling height, on optimizing your floor plan. We've given you all of the tips today, and I think even the way those rooms are dissected is super important. The way they're doing floor plans in the last 10 or 20 years, 10 years particularly, compared to how they're doing them in the 70s, completely different. So
Yeah,
don't, even if you're looking at an apartment that's new these days, look at it differently than what mum and dad had when they bought a place, because we're much more efficient in our floor plans these days.
yeah, absolutely. Have a great day. I hope that helps.
Have a great day. Thanks, Billy Bob. See you, everyone.